always hardworking since your school times, or was it something that you found your passion for?
I did not like chemistry, for example. I liked economics, for example. Economics
So the subject that you really liked, you were even then passionate about those subject
Yes,
areas.
yes, very much passionate.
Something that late Mr. Ramjit Malani said, that he is a lifelong student of law.
As long as you are handling it well, okay, you have the right mental perspective. So I'm again and again harping on having the right mental perspective, that you will enjoy your journey.
So you also have worked with a lot of junior associates by now. A few of them you probably appreciated, and a few of them you did not like to work with.
You know, we can be good at everything, but inherently we are good at certain things. And it differs from person to person actually. Then you analyze the factual background. Then you use your application of law to solve it. So suppose there is no factual background, there is no problem. Are you a lawyer?
Hello everyone, I welcome you all to our channel Law Wallah. Today we have with us our esteemed guest, Advocate Vivek Jha. He is a partner in Internships Legal, and his area of work is very broad. He's a transactional lawyer focusing on M&A, private equity, general corporate compliance, and data privacy also. And there are a lot of other works that he has done so far. So sir, I welcome you to our channel and for our students. Today we are going to have a Q&A session for all of them to understand your area of work, and for the ones who want to do the same things.
Right.
I hope it guides them as well.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Apurva, for inviting me and inviting me to share my thoughts on the issue. Look forward to having good, meaningful conversation, so that it is also very useful to our participants and as well as our audiences.
Yes, sir. So I was going through your body of work also, and I was truly inspired. I think anybody who wants to do the same kind of work, you have a lot of niche practice areas also. So it is like truly inspiring, and I think anybody would feel a sense of excitement looking at your body of work if they want to do the same things in life. So sir, to begin with, could you tell us a little about your journey into corporate law? You have a lot of practice areas, niche practice areas for that matter. That is not usual. A lot of people pick like one practice area. For example, maybe they'll pick something like international commercial arbitration, or like something like maybe private equity, that's it. But you have like worked on data privacy also, private equity also, and a lot of other things also. So how do you manage that?
So I tell you, as far as my journey in corporate laws is concerned, you see, to start with, I was not very good in mathematics until class 10th. Okay. And that is where I did not go ahead for any other vocation, you know, any profession like engineering or maybe medical sciences, etc. So in my 11th class, I had to take commerce. And as we say, sometimes, you know, the options and the alternative, you know, roads and the ways lead you to beautiful journey. That is exactly what happened with me. I took commerce, and I took commerce with a, you know, with a basically thinking that, okay, once I have taken commerce, there are other professions like company secretaryship that is available, or maybe I'll go to Delhi University, try to get admission into good colleges, try to score good marks in my class 11th and 12th, use that. So that was my limited perspective at that point in time. So when I was completing my class 12th in the year 2001, National Law University Jodhpur was set up. So there was a talk of setting up National Law University Jodhpur in the year 2000. It did not get set up that point in time. It actually got set up in 2001.
Okay.
And that is where I learned about, by that time I had done a bit of my research also. I had applied to Delhi University. I had also got through Kirodimal College that point in time in BA Honours History, that point in time. But I had done some research on law schools also. You see, the trajectory of academics was changing around 99 to 2005 and 6. Yes. Earlier, after 12th, everybody would want to do a graduation degree and then do an MBA or then do anything else, master's degree, and then have a professional life, you see. But around, I think, 98, 99 onwards, you had this 5-year courses, not only in law, other professions as well, right? There was emergence of course called BBA. Earlier, it was only BCom. Then some university started doing a Bachelor of Business Administration. Basically, that was a foundation course to manage Master of Business Administration that point in time. So I had done my research. I wrote exams of 2-3 law schools. One was NLU Bhopal, one was National Law School Bangalore. and the last examination was National Law University, Jodhpur. So somehow, since I was new to this, because I had never contemplated that I'll become a lawyer as such, while writing 2-3 exams, I used my experience while writing my last exam, which was National Law University, Jodhpur. And fortunately, I got through National Law University, Jodhpur that way. Okay.
There was no CLAT at that point.
There was no CLAT. You had to write all individual examinations. I think CLAT only came in the year 2008, 6-7 years thereafter. So that is how I got into law. Okay, accidentally got into law, five-year law course, a very beautiful opportunity that God provided me with. Okay, if I look into hindsight today that way. Now, since I had the commerce background, I had a natural inclination towards subjects like law of contracts. Law of contracts is the mother of all commercial laws in India. If somebody understands law of contracts very well, he has every right and every chance to be a good corporate lawyer because his foundations are very strong. Okay, I enjoyed doing law of contracts, and subsequently, when courses like companies law were introduced in my second year, the other half of second year, I found it very easy and interesting for myself because I had the commerce background. I was very, very good student in economics. That also helped me to have that, a mental perspective of doing well in these kind of subjects. So you see, all this mental perspective actually helps you because I believe that, okay, Companies Act or law of contract, I think these are very familiar to what I have already done. So I'm good at it. Okay, that was the message I was sending to my subconscious. And I was actually kind of doing well at that point in time. So my journey into corporate law was very natural. Okay, when I went into my third year, I had a chance to do an outstanding internship with Securities and Exchange Board of India, SEBI, that point in time. And the task that I got there, okay, changed the course of my perspective. Okay, further helped me to reinforce and build on my knowledge as far as corporate laws are concerned. I had the task to make a compendium of all the orders passed by SEBI in last 1.5 years when I was doing internship in 2004, and also see whether those orders were appealed against in Securities Appellate Tribunal and whether the Securities Appellate Tribunal.
That was all in your third year.
In my end of my third year.
Okay.
So when my senior, who was assistant legal advisor at that point in time in SEBI, he asked me for last 1.5 years. I thought, okay, this will not be much of work actually. Maybe let me try. Then I saw in last 1.5 years, SEBI had passed more than 550 orders.
Yeah.
So I had to analyze entire 550 orders during 6 weeks of my internships at SEBI, make a summary of it, make a compendium of it. And on my last day, when I had to take the printout, because you see, that point in time, we did not have much of pen drives or those, Google Drives, etc., available with us.
No assistance like AI tools also.
So the only mode to transfer your file was a floppy that point in time. And the file size was too big for a floppy that point in time. So my senior asked me, okay, you mail it to me. Also give me a floppy. Also give me a hard copy. So I had to take the printout. There were 700 pages of printout. The printer, the main printer of that big office, main printer of that regulator was blocked for 3 hours.
Okay.
Nobody else could take the printout. And, that gave me so much of impetus and so much of motivation. You see, I can, I have done so much of work.
Already.
I have done so much of work. I am at the biggest regulator of India, the most powerful regulator of India. And my work, a printer is printing my work for last 3 hours. That was a big motivation for me. That means the bulk of work that I had done.
But usually people or students in the third year are not like really sure about what do they want to do.
Yeah.
Since you're like saying you were already drawn towards commercial law, law of contracts, everything. So would it be safe to say that you were kind of certain in your head that I want to pursue this only?
Yes, I was very certain because it was a natural choice for me, something I really enjoyed from my subconscious, from my root actually. And then when I came back from SEBI, I was very motivated and very confident because I had done a lot of good work there as far as the student internship is concerned. Then in my fourth year, and the first half of my fifth year, I started publishing a lot of articles. So I ended up publishing around 25 plus articles in good journals that point in time, because in our time there were journals like Criminal Law Journals, All India Reporter, Company Law Journals. They were good, fantastic, outstanding
Yes.
journals. There were not many online platforms those were available
They were
like
all
now.
very
There was nothing
credible.
like writing blogs, etc. at that point in time. So if you notice All India Reporter, people, those who would get their article published
And they were
there,
very bulky articles and
yeah, they were all senior practitioners
yeah.
who would get it done. But somehow I had worked hard for it. I got one or two of my articles published. It gave me even more motivation to.
So this was all during your law school journey.
This was all during my law school journey. So by the end of my fourth year, I had built so much of background, background reinforcement for myself, resume for myself, that if I sit for an interview for any corporate law firm, at least I will get a chance to get an interview with that corporate law firm. Because I had published 25 plus articles, I have been at SEBI, done so much of work there. So I was very confident that if my CV is before any partner of any law firm, I do not know whether I get selected or not, I am going to get interviewed. I was very confident about it. And that point in time, not only me, our university was initially, even today, was known as a corporate law university also.
Yes.
Since I am the part of the first batch, I, along with some of my batchmates and some of my juniors, have actually really worked hard to actually create that image for ourselves. So if you remember, around 2004, 2005 and 6, there was a lot of changes across the corporate governance standards across the world. We had Narayan Murthy committee report in 2003, 2004, 2003, we had Naresh Chandra committee report, etc. We had Cadbury committee report in 1991. So all these things were going because there was a big overhaul in corporate governance standards across the globe. And that was a fantastic opportunity for all of us, including myself, to actually build more on our knowledge, build more on our corporate law aura, that point in time, as I may call it. So all these developments also helped us, right? So, but you see, as we say, the platform is not enough. You have to be prepared to use that platform. So we were somehow prepared to use and the platform that came, we were able to actually utilize that platform. So when I sat for my campus interview, I was from the first batch. You see, typically when people see any university and institution, if first batch is like an experimental batch, first 2-3 batches are like an experimental batch. People would see how the placements have gone, and placements, good placements,
like a benchmark also, in a way.
Good placements take time to pick up, you see. But for example, I got 4 job offers.
Wow.
Not 1, not 2, I got 4 job offers. I was spoiled for all the choices, but I had really worked hard for it. So my journey was very natural to start with. Okay, commerce background to getting into law of contract to the Companies Act, but simultaneously somehow I was in parallel being able to work hard and build more and more and more and more on it.
So were you always hardworking since your school times, or was it something that you found your passion for?
So during my school times, the way, if I see, in the hindsight, there were certain subjects which I really, to be honest, I did not like.
Like maths.
Mathematics I liked till class 7th and 8th. From 9th and 10th, I just lost the momentum there. Okay. I did not like physics, for example. Okay. I did not like chemistry, for example. I liked economics, for example. Economics.
So the subject that you really liked, you were even then passionate about those subject areas.
Yes, very much passionate. For example, I always liked economics. When we started economics in our 9th class, I really liked it. I understood it very well. Even today, it helps me. When I do an M&A transaction, M&A transactions are all about understanding commercials. 80% of our practice is commercials. And economics is commercials of a nation.
Yes, obviously.
That's what economics is all about. It's the commercials of a nation, a big country like us and all other countries as well.
So that makes it a full circle, that you opted for commerce. You were not sure what are you going to do, but then you did law, and then it somehow helped you to link it with law. And but you created so many niche areas for yourself. Coming back to that, a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people pick one niche area and they keep working on that, or hardly like 2 niche areas maybe. But you have like a lot of niche practice areas. So how did you hone that?
So I tell you, when we talk about legal profession is a different kind of a profession. You see, In legal profession, it's not only merely about knowledge. If you have an outstanding knowledge, you are knowledgeable, very good. But that is not enough. What you need to understand is the perspectives. Understanding perspectives, more perspectives is the real knowledge. So as we say, a good lawyer is the one who understands the mind of a judge, who can preempt the question of a judge. Okay, maybe judge will ask me these questions. So what you're doing, for example, in this, you know yourself well, your preparation well. At the same time, you are also understanding the preparation of your counterpart lawyers, your judges. That means, for
Yes.
example, we do M&A deal. We always have law firms opposite us, representing parties. We have multiple law firms, good law firms, great partners also opposite us. The idea is not only about your knowledge and your perspective, also to understand their perspective, assimilate their thoughts, and come to a middle ground. That's the real practice. So in law, it's all about perspectives and it is all about interpretations. That's
Sir,
it.
with that chain of thought, I would like to go a little off track. There's a presumption also that you need to stay away from lawyers and they're very cunning and shrewd and all of that. Have you ever felt that bias towards you from anybody who's a non-law person?
No, not really. I have actually not felt it. You see, why people think so is because of certain movies or some dramas.
You don't
like
agree with
those.
that?
I really do not agree with that. Lawyers are most easiest to deal with because lawyers will offer you more perspective than anybody else can
True.
offer you. That is why you see many lawyers are politicians. How are they politicians, right? Or many politicians are lawyers.
True.
For examples, right? They can speak on so many topics.
Open-mindedness about a lot of things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you pick up lawyers who are politicians. They have been finance minister of India also. How come a lawyer is a finance minister of India? He
Yes.
understands finances, right?
100%.
As well as he understands legal nitty-gritties, right? So that is where a good lawyer, as I said, a good lawyer, from my perspective, is the one who has maximum perspectives, has maximum interpretation, and not only looks at something in terms of black or white, like right or wrong. There is
Yes.
nothing right in law. There is nothing wrong in law. If there is everything is black and white, then no judgment of Supreme Court of India will get overruled. Why should it get overruled? You see, judgments also get overruled with
By the
different
larger
parties,
bench
different
also
lawyer
sometimes.
interpreting it differently. A judge reading it and interpreting it differently. So law changes.
But sir,
that
then there
evolves.
is a lot of judicial disparity also. Like same set of facts are decided by one bench, they have a different judgment, and then similarly there's a different opinion by a separate bench.
So
of
that's
judges.
why that's what I said. Different people have had different perspectives to offer on the same factual scenario. That is possible, and this is the field which actually welcomes it. So you see, lawyers always thrives on challenges.
Yes. So coming back to you, you worked with tier 1 firms of the country also since the beginning, I guess. A lot of young lawyers dream about it. How has that shaped your expertise and perspective as a lawyer?
Okay, so
being in tier 1 or being in a regular law firm also.
So when we say tier 1, tier 2,
that doesn't create any change.
I think those are relevant only for internal discussions, etc.
It does not create.
So I have seen, for example, outstanding lawyers of what people may call a tier 3 law firm. There are outstanding lawyers there also, and there are outstanding lawyers, good hardworking lawyers in tier 1 also. Now, how do I see this? Any law firm, I don't get into tier 1 to tier 4, 5, 2 law firms, to be honest. Okay, how I see is from a perspective of somebody who's entering a law firm, is what kind of team he is working in.
Yeah, true.
What are the ethics of the team, right?
So, but usually what happens is tier 1, tier 2 is also something that is discussed a lot among law students when they're in law school. Everyone is like, I want to get into this law firm. I want to somehow crack this. So they have that dream somehow. And I think once you go into, as you said, a legal profession properly, all of these labels drop and you focus on your area of work. How do you want to pursue your work?
Exactly. So if there is any new entrant wants to get in a firm, I'm generally saying, what is important is the nature of the team. What is the ethos of the team? That is also very important. Okay. Now, you may get into a team where there are look, if you're in a law firm or a non-law firm or even independent practitioner in law, the fact that you are a lawyer, you have to be hardworking because you are not going to survive without it. Okay. That's the minimum benchmark. That's not even a minimum benchmark. That's a requirement actually, to be honest now. Okay. Now, what sets you apart, okay, from a very best lawyer to the next best lawyer is your ethos. How do you view certain things? Are you solving the problem for your clients or your counterparties? Are you actually doing it? If you're solving the problems, your clients will definitely respect you. Your counterparties will also respect you. So when we are negotiating, let's say, for example, an M&A transaction, private equity or venture capital transaction, we have long drawn negotiations. Negotiations can span over a period of time from, let's say, 10 days to 300 days also. That is also possible. Okay. And that is where, beyond a certain point in time, what I have also noticed, and that's how people have also evolved. Now, you see, knowledge is definitely important. What I bring onto the table is important. There is a counterparty lawyer also who is also very intelligent and hardworking. He's also bringing a perspective on the table. Now, if we just keep on fighting, having multiple negotiations, initially clients may enjoy it. Okay, you said a very good point. Your point was very well appreciated, etc. But after sub rounds of negotiation, what both the clients will ask you, the lawyer, counterparty lawyer's client, as well as your client, is ask you, okay, how do we solve for this problem?
True.
You are great lawyers, okay, but tell me, what is the market practice? How are other people have done it in the same industry, right? And that is where there has been a lot of onus and expectation from us on the deal table, because you see, a deal table, people on the deal table are the top people of organizations, right? You have CMDs to the CFOs and the CEOs. Now, as a transactional lawyer, they have offered you a seat on the deal table. That means you have to bring in some value on the table, right? You need to have some USP. That's why you are on the deal table. Otherwise, if you are not able to provide for a middle ground or a solution, why would you be on the table? Then the parties will internally discuss and solve for themselves and come out of the room and tell to the lawyers, okay, draft this. This does not happen actually. So you see, the roles have also evolved that way. So, the between tier 1 and other firms, etc., just keeping it simple. What I want to see, and I see, and what anybody may see most probably, is the ethos of the team, culture of the team. Again, very, very important. A good, competent culture who believes in creating value addition, views things very differently from a different team having a different culture. So when you have this mental perspective that I want to, value add, because when you value add, you get more respect, you get more money, credibility also, adds to your validity also, gives you more fame also. That's why we have top lawyers, right? People say he's a top lawyer. Why do they say so?
So right? Your crux would be that don't focus on tier 1, tier 2. You should focus on what team you're getting into, what is your area of work, getting into, what can you give.
Yeah. And what is your perceived role in that team?
True.
What is your perceived role? Will you be getting that much of exposure and independence? Would your team actually welcome it? Are the associates like that?
So that is something that young lawyers or law students should aim for.
Not only young lawyers and law students, every practitioner should also aim for. Because what happens when at a partner level, I say, I believe in having a team like this, I should be the first one taking those steps actually for creating that team, right? So that my principal associates and senior associates can follow it, so that it can actually trickle down. So it is more onus on me that way, if I say so.
What are the traits that you look for apart from a strong CV or resume? What are the traits you look for while hiring a junior under you? So in terms of character, in terms of credibility.
So it may differ from people to people, but since you have asked me this question, what I look for is the focus and awareness.
Okay.
Look, India is a $3 trillion economy. Okay. We are moving to become a $10 trillion economy. We want to move fast, and by 2040-47, we want to double our economy from $10 trillion economy, become a $25 or $30 trillion economy. What happens when there is a massive change in the GDP, growth in the GDP? There is more work. There will be more players. There will be more professionals, etc. Things are going to get complicated, right? You will have more competitors actually doing it. So, since India is changing, the GDP is growing, you see, the perspective also has to change actually. So when we talk about a law student, okay, now I have learned all this with my experience actually. Now, when I was in NL Jodhpur, our first Vice Chancellor, Dr. Anil Mitra, he used to say one very beautiful thing, that has also stayed with me, and I have realized the importance of it time and again. That he used to say, as a lawyer, you have to be master of laws. Because you are a lawyer, you have to be master of laws, right? You also have to be master of facts, because laws are applied on facts.
True.
If you do not have the right context with you, how will you apply your knowledge? How will you utilize your knowledge? Having the right
Somebody
context.
who is aware.
Somebody who is aware. So, for example, there is a lot of transactions going on in fintech city. Fintech companies in M&As to the private equities, billions of dollars, etc. There. Then, as a lawyer,
it is growing in numbers as well lately.
Yeah, as a lawyer or as a law student, I should also try to understand how fintech industry works. Who are the players in the fintech industry?
So most of the lawyers are like not into it actually.
No, that perspective
Fintech
is changing.
companies
That perspective is changing because that has become an expectation. So tomorrow, maybe in times to come, you are representing your fintech client. So your fintech client will not explain his business to you time and again. He will expect you to understand his business, right? And offer solutions, right? So look, we lawyers are also salesmen of our services, right?
Yes,
Now,
sure.
if I do not know much about fintech, how would I know what issues can come in relation to fintech?
True.
I should be able to actually advise my client. Your business model is XYZ. We believe you should have contractual arrangement there. Risk is there. Risk is less there. Risk is more there. Whatever. So knowing your ground well is most important. And prior to that, being more aware. For example, there's a lot of traction around Gift City. So if I see a student CV, maybe for internship also, okay, and see if he has written a couple of blogs on Gift City. Now, look, right now, students and young entrants in law, even lawyers, they have so many avenues to share their experience, build knowledge, voice their opinion, etc., which were not there 15 years back.
There are a lot of tools also to understand things. For example, a lot of AI platforms for law students, young law. I don't think they were there when you were
not
trying
at all. They were not there. We did not have it. Now I also see students coming together and making a YouTube videos and blogs. They are on Instagrams, etc., doing debates. Those things were not there.
A lot of things are accessible. For example, a lot of our students are watching your video right now. Somebody who is like a partner in such a reputed law firm. I don't think that was a means at that point of time where you could understand things from that perspective.
Yeah, so in my time when I was graduating, I did not hear of these things, tier 1 and tier 2 and tier 3 law firms, to be honest. Okay,
That was a
we knew
lot
about
of
some great law
talks in my law school journey. I heard that a lot.
Yeah. So as I said, to me, it doesn't matter which tier. This is, I think, mere discussion purposes, etc. That is there. If somebody asks me if I have to suggest someone on these lines, to me, the team is more important. The culture of the team, ethos of the team, and the competency of the team. These three things should be test checked. Accordingly, decisions should be taken. If you ask me that way.
Sir, for someone who is new to the profession, how would you describe what a transactional lawyer actually does on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, so we have touched upon certain points in this relation already.
Tried to.
So if you are a transactional lawyer, you need to have a different kind of a perspective, because a transaction is 80% commerce, 20% law.
Okay.
Yeah, this is how the transactions are. It is not pure play legal. That way.
Okay.
And if you only think in terms of legalities, then you are not in a position to understand the commercials behind the deal, understand the commercials of different parties on the table, and you will not be able to offer good solutions on the table because you are only thinking in terms of legal. Now, when I say thinking in terms of legal or thinking in terms of commercial aspects, is that not to always think that how something could not be done. Is to think how something can be done. Because when the parties are coming in for an M&A or any commercial dealings, parties have already made the decisions in their mind. The main guys have already met. 3-4 parties, the main guys, the CEOs, the top functionaries have already met. They have liked the proposal and they want to do it. Then they go to their legal advisors to do a due diligence, etc. See whether the company is fine or not. Are there big legal non-compliances, etc. Whether there will be big liability, etc. They go to accounting advisors and see whether the balance sheets are fine, the valuation he is asking is okay, etc. That is there. But you see, in the entire process, if you have this perspective of understanding commercials in your parties more, you tend to offer better solutions which work for the parties that way.
But that would require a lot of reading also, right?
That requires a lot of reading, that requires experience, that requires open mind, going beyond the call of your duty. So we have been in negotiations when we were juniors, okay? So you know, the legal aspects, etc., were discussed maybe for a couple of hours, and out of 8-hour meetings, 6 hours people, you know, parties were discussing their business and the nitty-gritties. So as a person on the table, I have two choices. So I see my, you know, my inputs I have already given. It's been 2 hours, etc. Now these guys, you know, the commercial parties are discussing internal commercial nitty-gritties. Not relevant for me. That is one perspective. The other perspective is that I should also understand what parties are discussing in terms of nitty-gritties. Does this change my legal input or not? Because eventually when they will discuss, they will come to me and ask for a sign off from me. Right?
So you need to already be prepared for that.
Yeah, be prepared for that. So you have to go beyond the call of your duty, etc., to be good at this profession. This is how this profession works. So once you have this, you know, a great mental perspective that you understand, I need to understand the commercials, I need to understand the nature of parties, I need to understand what is stakeholders' expectation. You should also learn to read the room. At times, lot of time, there is a lot of stalemates and deadlock on certain points. What you need to do is to read the room, understand the expectations of the other party, the proposal of the other party. Just don't dismiss it and try to come to a solution. This is how deals happen, actually. You see, because nobody loves a deal breaker. Everybody loves a deal maker. So this is the fundamental shift in approach. I think that is what is required. That is something which has actually helped me. That over a period of time, is to be a deal maker and not a deal breaker per se.
That reminds me of something that late Mr. Ram Jethmalani said, that he is a lifelong student of law. So not for law, like for example, with your area of work, it is not just law. You also have to be lifelong student of commercial side of things. But it would be safe to say that you have to be a lifelong learner if you are in this profession.
That is correct. You have to be lifelong learner.
You can't be dogmatic about this is what I know and this is what I'm going to apply.
Look, as long as you are handling it well, okay, you have the right mental perspective. So I'm again and again harping on having the right mental perspective, is that you will enjoy your journey.
Okay.
Learning is never laborious.
True. That is
People
true.
see it differently and say, I have to be lifelong learner. It's a great opportunity.
You can be curious.
It's a great opportunity. Yes. It is a platform. It will help you to evolve at every point in time and again. And when you are evolving time and again, you are getting more opportunities to showcase your talent, right? True. Showcase your experiences, right? One way is to just learn one thing and keep doing that thing. Okay, that thing may not be in use after 5 years, for example. You are redundant, right? One thing is to evolve time and again. For example, M&A, 20 years back, M&A was a generic M&A. But we have private equities. In private equity, we have large private equities. We have low private equities. 2015-16 onwards, we have this startup story all growing. We have venture capitalists in India. Multiple deals in venture capital happen. There have been people like us and other people also, they have been evolving. And not saying that I'm only doing a normal M&A. I don't understand. That doesn't work. You have to evolve.
Yes.
Right? Then only your clients will respect you. You will have a chance to do more deals. Doing more deals is interacting with more number of people.
True.
More people will know you, right? As simple as this bigger platform. That is what everybody wants, right? Everybody wants a bigger platform, more fame and more money. That's why all of us are professionals, right? And for achieve that, we need to evolve time and again. It goes hand in hand.
Sir, what is role of law school in shaping your career? I know a lot of students who are from traditional law school who want to do what you are doing, and they feel very hesitant because they don't know the tools or means to reach where you are. Because usually when you are in a national law school or you are in a great, good college, you're usually given opportunities or you are usually guided towards that path. So what's your advice to these people, or whatever you want to say?
You see, so for example, I was fortunate to go to a law school, which was a very different law school. Within NLUs also, NLU Jodhpur, I found when I was there for those 5 years, I found it to be a very different law school because our Vice Chancellor said, very different perspective. They wanted to create a world-class legal institutions in Jodhpur. Jodhpur now is a big city. That point in time, Jodhpur was a small city.
Small city.
People knew Hawa Mahal of Jaipur more than Jodhpur. That
True.
was, we found it difficult to get good faculties also. For example, not many South Indian faculties who joined us in Jodhpur would be there beyond 6 months or 7 months. Food issue, there are a lot of issues also. But our vice chancellor, our relevant functionaries, they wanted to make a world-class legal institution in Jodhpur, because Jodhpur was the seat in Rajasthan, is a judicial capital that way. So that's how the ecosystem was created. Okay. Now, what a law student should do. Okay. Now I tell you, law is something which can be taught. Law does not depend on the institutions. Actually, law is something which can be taught. Because law is a process that way. Law is actually not a subject. Because if you see the Bar Council of India, I think even today we have that pool of 65 subjects over the period of 5 years.
True.
If you see, out of those 65 subjects, around 30 subjects are interlinked to each other.
Definitely.
For example, law of torts is also interlinked to constitutional law, because law of tort teaches you to how to
100%.
question
If
and
you
raise your
are studying
voices to
CPC,
contest.
you have to understand SRA also.
SRA also.
Yeah.
If you know Contract Act, it is connected to Companies
Even that
Act,
is
Companies Act,
SRA
to
companies, all of that is
WTOs, to
interlinked.
the insolvency laws and whatnot. There are a lot of practice areas.
Linkage is very important also to understand law in holistic way, I believe.
Right. So that is how it is there. Now, the beauty of this 5-year law course is that since there are multiple subjects, you can come back. If you think you are not doing well in the first year, you can come back in the second year, because second year you will have new subjects to come back. Okay. If you think you are not doing well in second year also, you have not done well in first year, you can come back in third year. Or maybe if first 3 years have not gone good for you, you can come back in the fourth year. So more the number of subjects, actually, the more the number of opportunities for you to actually come back.
True.
Right, because law, I think the legal course is the only course which offers multiple profession within itself. So you will have a WTO lawyer, you will have an M&A lawyer, you will have private equity lawyer,
And that is all
venture
very
capital
diverse
lawyer,
from
real
each
estate
other.
lawyer. You will have insolvency and bankruptcy, NCLT lawyers. You will have constitutional law lawyers. Okay, so the multiple professions within those 65 subjects, and that is only increasing. Data privacy, for example, earlier we had certain tidbits of Information Technology Act in relation to data privacy, but now we have the entire Data Privacy Act and the rules with us, right? So the number of since the GDP is growing, the country is growing, the number of professions are growing, and more so in the legal profession. Let's say engineering is like mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, civil engineering, etc. But if you see the pace of growth in legal profession, different branches of legal profession, they are growing at a rapid pace.
True. I believe that's because society is emerging and law is always emerging with the society only. So as like you said, fintechs are emerging and venture capitalists are there. So definitely we need law for that as well, and hence we need lawyers for that.
Exactly. So now it's a very pertinent thing the point that you have raised. You see, now the market players are increasing. So we had, let's say, 1,500 companies in certain bracket, like retail trading, for example. There are 1 lakh companies now. So earlier you only had one regulator, Reserve Bank of India.
True.
And Monopolies Trade Practices Commission before competition. Now you have Competition Commission, you have Securities and Exchange Board of India, you have insurance regulator, you have pension fund regulator, and the number will only keep on increasing. You will also have environmental regulator.
100%.
Right, because the number of players are increasing, right?
A lot of compliance are also needed lately for a lot of things. For example, environmental law was not such a big deal back then as it is right now, with the sustainable development becoming a key area in all the countries, I believe. So that is also something that is emerging with time.
Yes, ESG. ESG is another big practice area. Environmental, social and governance standards. So it has that part of environment also. So no bigger investment fund is funding you unless you are ticking the right boxes in the ESG framework.
Okay. So coming back to being from a traditional law school, any student who is from traditional law school, I believe you are correct in saying that you can still learn law. But these people do not have access, or they don't have the knowledge where to go, how to get it started.
So So that way I tell you. So I see I'm also been part of a lot of bridge courses. A lot of organizations are doing. Okay, for example, there is a certificate course on M&A, certificate course in IT. A lot
For
of courses.
different things, there are
They
different
are
courses
actually
you can
being
do
taught
that.
by good law firm partners. So you have a pool of 7-8 law firm partners who are taking a certificate course, and that certificate course is costing 4,000 rupees, 5,000
True.
rupees. So it's very not expensive. Okay, you get to learn and understand things right from directly from the partners also.
True.
So that is because when a partner, if an associate takes 1 hour on something, partner takes 5 minutes. That's how it is. So if
Okay.
you're doing one elective with a partner for one hour on that certificate course, for example, you're getting knowledge of lot more number of hours
True.
actually. So a lot of students are actually doing that also. The other thing is, when I speak about organizations as well as law schools are also organizations, to be honest. To me, what is very important is the creating that culture of excellence. That is the first thing. Because the moment you have created that culture and that ecosystem of excellence, everything falls in place. So there may be 4 or 5 students, okay? There are a lot of traction going around, for example, Gift City, okay? 4 or 5 students can come together and they should write articles, co-authoring articles, for example. The regulator comes up with a lot of papers and a lot of laws, white papers, etc. for public consultation. University can organize some students together and ask them to give their comments to the regulator. Your letterhead will be on the regulator's table, right? As a university, those things are big things. So,
That's a lot
once
of
you have
exposure.
created that culture of excellence, then your mind only focuses on doing value-added work. Only focuses on. You never think in the terms of what grades I'm scoring, etc. Those actually, if you see over a period of time, becomes very immaterial, to be honest. You might be a brilliant student, having great exposure. You might not be good in grades. Happens with so many I've seen, that way. But once you've created that culture of excellence within your own group, if not university, within your own small group, okay, of friends and good colleagues, etc., then you give yourself more chances to do well, to be honest. Then thinking in terms of that, okay, I'm not from, let's say, tier 1 law school. I think tier 1, tier 2 has also come into law schools now, right? Okay,
Yeah.
it will come into schools also.
But so that
someday.
happens also, no? For example, in placement cell, a lot of it varies from college to college also. A lot of these firms are not going to a lot of other colleges as they are going in the top law colleges of the country, and that makes a student question their journey as a lawyer.
So I tell you why these law firms are not going to some colleges and why they are going to some colleges.
Yes.
Because those colleges have been able to establish that culture of excellence over a period of time. That is the prime reason. So in no law firm will view that, okay, I don't want to go to Calcutta, I want to go to Jaipur. No law firm will think like that, or vice versa. No law firm
They're
will
sure
say,
that
I will not
this
go to
particular
Bombay.
law school is giving us good batch of lawyers.
Batch of students. Also, that some of their students, for example, had come to our law firm for internships, and we saw those students are excellent students. So let's keep a tab on them. Let's understand them more. That is how in NLU Jodhpur, for example, we were able to create good amount of recruitment right from the first batch, because whenever we went into internship, we put our heart and soul into internship. Okay. So that when we come back, those organizations, those associates, senior associates, or maybe sometimes partners worked with us, they missed us. Okay, there was a student doing very well. Where is he? Something like that. Okay, that actually created us, create more branding than anything else. The best branding for any organization is the work. Is the work. Be it a law firm, the best branding is the work that law firm does. Be it for individual lawyer, the best work that individual lawyer does. And be it for law school, the best work that those students of law school do. That is the best branding, because that branding always stays with you. For example, in my own law firm, for example, we have seen students coming from different colleges over a period of time. I have seen consistently in a couple of years, there is a particular institution, students from that institutions are better. They are willing to put more hard work. So I have them in my mind. If I have to recruit, I will go there first.
True.
I will not see the location. I'll just see where are they, that way, because their work has spoken for themselves actually. So,
but let's talk about like traditional law school students. So for example, if this is not happening for them, you would suggest that you need to be open to learning, and there are various courses available as well. You can enroll in them. You can try to have guidance, because it is no more time where all of that is not accessible.
Exactly. So I know on LinkedIn, I know various people. Okay, they conduct a session on, in let's say M&A for example, for 2 hours on a Sunday. So they are taking away some time of their personal life and doing it. They post it on LinkedIn, and I have seen a lot of students, hundreds of students actually trying to attend that. Okay, it's free of cost, for example.
Okay.
There are a lot of people actually are
So that is a
doing
possibility.
this you will only know when you are aware of it, right?
Yes,
Awareness
yes,
is in
sure.
your hand. Awareness
You need to be open.
In relation to awareness, you cannot say, okay, I am in a remote place of this and this district. I am not aware. Today, it's an information age. Every information is available to everyone at every point in time. It's as simple as this. That's
You
why
just
we
need to have the right kind of mindset also, I believe.
That's what I've been saying again and again. If you have right mindset, right mental perspective, 50% of your problems are already solved, right? Already solved, because you never think in terms of roadblocks or hindrances. You're thinking in terms of doing well, understanding things more.
Sir, next question would be for you. Going back in the memory lane, is there anything you had wished you learned early in career, whether soft skills or technical skills?
Okay.
Early on, like for example, right now you're creating these niche areas for yourself or created already. So did you ever wish that I wish I learned this earlier?
Okay. Learning this earlier, look, technical skills you can develop over a period of time. You can learn it, you can unlearn it. Okay. Technical skills are required at certain stages of your life, may not be required after that way. Okay. Now, the best thing to learn, which I thought I may have learned in general, was during the school time itself, is to have more soft skills, is to have more people skills, because when you move to the top, the knowledge is important, but more important, how you deal with the people, how comfortable your stakeholders are with you, how comfortable your team is with you, are you able to create right ethos for your team or not, understanding your team members more. These soft skills become more important. Unfortunately, no school actually teaches that. It just cannot be learned and left it to individual, like learning soft skills through doing racing competition, to playing badmintons, to the basketball, to the cricket. Those are accidental. Some people may pick it up accidentally, some people may not. So I think there has to be more thrust on dealing with people. Okay, having
so networking is like very important. That is like something that I've heard multiple times in my life. Ever since I enrolled in my law school, this was something that we were constantly told, that you need to be like good with networking, and I never quite understood that term. But I think what you are saying is similar to that you need
so
to
if you don't have great soft skills, you will not be able to network better.
right.
Why would somebody want to communicate with you, spend more time with you in a gathering?
True.
Right? If you have the right soft skill, you seem open, approachable, that is only people will speak with you, talk to you, give you more of their time, right? Because there are thousands of others also at the same time, right? You got a big networking event, hundreds of people
But
come.
I've heard a lot of lawyers, young lawyers, not like experienced lawyers, but a lot of young lawyers complain about the fact that I'm not able to network.
Yeah. So again, you see, you have to see things differently. Networking in itself does not work. If you don't have the right
skills needed,
skills and right knowledge with you, networking will not work for you. Networking is not exchanging cards and exchanging phone numbers, right? In business world, right? Networking means doing a networking which actually ends up in the workflow. That is the real networking.
True.
Now, if you don't have the right skill set with you, right professional skill set with you, or right knowledge with you, then networking will not be useful. While you may know the person, right? Okay, in subsequent networking events, you may shake hands, you are familiar, etc. That is there. But the work may not flow. To work flow, you have to have right skills, right experience also. So, for example, very senior guy, he may not be networking for work with an associate. While an associate wants to network with him, so he will receive him very well, speak good with him, but the workflow will not be there eventually, right? So networking, if it is backed by right skills and the right knowledge, then that is a lasting networking. Actually, that is an impact creating networking.
Of course, like if you just go to somebody and try to talk about random things, why would this person interact with you?
Exactly. Why would that person interact with you also? At the same time, interaction will not
At least in
last
the
much.
professional, at least in the professional settings.
Interaction will not last much. Let's say beyond 40 seconds, you have nothing to say. Because the person who is very senior,
Yes.
he speaks and understands things at a different wavelength.
True.
And you are understanding it at different
And
wavelength.
I think you can sense also who is aware and who is not aware about things.
Very much. Very much you will understand. For example, we do a lot of negotiations. At times we meet our counterparty lawyers also. You tend to understand from the first meeting that, what is the nature, what kind of points they will harp on in times to come. You just get a sense of it. Okay. So this was the first part. The other part that I thought if I had learned at school, my life would have been great. And I think right from the school you should be doing is to working on your mind, is always reinforcing positivity in your mind. Things like meditation are such a great tool. If you have people with right mindset, positive mindset, you create a population which is on the right track. It changes life of everyone, right?
Everyone around you.
So typically right from the school, we also had it. Maybe my parents also had it when they were in school. Definitely I know kids today have it. They have the mind of scarcity today. Mind which is full of fear and mind which is full of unknown.
True.
And that is why we have this rash behavior, not producing right kind of human resources. You see, country will never be known by the population. 140 crore population is not great. 140 crore of human resources is great. That is why you see big countries.
Population is also the reason that we have scarcity mindset.
Depends. Look, there is enough for everyone, actually. There is enough for everyone. There is you have to place yourself that way. So for example, someone like me, I never had a lawyer in my family. Okay, legal profession is known to be professions wherein you have your parents, your grandfather, grandparents, etc. in that profession, lineage profession.
True.
I did not have it, and there are millions like me who did not have it, and still they are doing very well. How are they doing very well? So maybe we could have thought, okay, this profession is not for us because we don't have our baap dadas in this profession. Okay, this is not my cup of tea, and maybe we would have been in different profession, but we did not think so. We have created enough space as much as them. And maybe more than them also in many cases, right? So you see a lot of first generation lawyers are doing excellent, doing great. How are they doing it? It's a right mental perspective. That is it. So I think, maybe working on soft skills and working on my mind would have been a great thing if schools had offered it. Unfortunately, I don't think any school even today formally offers it.
No.
Okay, they should offer it. I think that's the great way, because we never live with the facilities that we have. We live in our own mind and body first. Okay.
True.
That is where we feel confident. That is where we feel unmotivated, underconfident, etc. So it is us. We should be, treating us better, actually, and ultimately our behaviors shape that way.
So, sir, did you develop these skills over a period of time?
I had to. I had to, because the nature of my work is such. At times it becomes very taxing. Higher number of hours. There is a lot of expectations from parties all the time to get done work immediately, which even cannot be done, right? You have to deal with the pressure, you have to deal with the client, right? Manage the client also. So over a period of time, even I used to find it taxing when I was an associate or senior associate. But, I learned to manage it. I learned doing meditation also. That really helped me over a period of time. Having a very cool, a cool aura is very useful on the deal table when things are going haywire. That is where your internal silence and your control over yourself actually helps you, so that you can channelize energies in the right direction.
True.
That way, while everybody is not doing so, if you are doing so, you can straight away, a relevant person in the room that way. So that is also, it evolves over a period of time, but ultimately, the end point is, how do you manage yourself? If you are managing yourself better, then you are managing your resources, your team better, you're managing your clients better, you're managing your workflow better, you're managing your work product better. It all starts from within, actually. So I think we should focus more on within, looking into ourselves actually.
But sir, how did you hone your knowledge area also, knowledge base also? Because you have a lot of, again, I'm coming back to it again and again. That is because that is not really usual as per me. So how did you hone your knowledge areas? I mean, I understand that soft skills are important, networking is important, to have a calm mindset is important, but expertise is really, really important.
Yeah.
If you don't have the expertise, you don't. None of this is going to matter as such. So how did you
Right.
hone these areas? So you told me that you started off in second year and you try to connect your commerce ka knowledge with this,
Yeah.
and you developed a passion for it. You got opportunities for it, and you worked hard for it. But along the way, how did you keep honing your knowledge over a period of time, and how can someone do that? For example, mergers and acquisition, private equity, data privacy. A lot of things are emerging concepts also.
Also.
So
So look, there are various ways to look at it. So you see, when you say, nobody can say, actually, this is what my experience also, that you are 100% or a complete lawyer, because
that
you are
is true.
evolving. Laws are, your area of knowledge is evolving.
True.
So what you learned in Companies Act 1956 may not be relevant under Companies Act 2013.
True.
You have two choices and say, no, my knowledge was update until Companies Act 1956. This is very different law. I'm not able to manage. It doesn't happen like this. So when you know you are not complete at all points in time, that means you have more chances to develop that completeness. Try to reach to that completeness, because you know you are not complete. The moment you think you are complete in your profession, okay, that means there is end of your growth. Right? You will not strive to do more, right? Because you think you are complete. But in law, you are never complete lawyer. You are never 100% lawyer. And also, this is one perspective. The other perspective is also client retention, for example. So you may be working with a client who was a very small organization to start with, let's say a startup in 2016. And by 2019 and 20, it has received multiple investment, became a conglomerate. A lot of our companies have become so, right? Then you also need to evolve with your client, right?
True.
Because you want to retain work as much as possible from that company, because it's a very good, a good platform to showcase your work, right? That you are associated with this company, you were associated with this promoter when he was nothing, but today he is a unicorn. So that is a very big platform for you. It is a good revenue stream for you also, right? So you, as a law firm partner or law firm, you would want to do more work with that client. Why would that client go to other organizations, legal organization also? That is also another element why the lawyers have been evolving over a period of time, right? That way, there can be other perspectives also to it. Because the nature of our profession is, lawyers thrive on challenges. That's the baseline, actually. You see, if things are written in black and white, then there is no requirement of lawyers, right? Lawyers come into picture only when things are not in black and white.
True.
Right? That is where the lawyers come into picture. That is also a great impetus to evolve from time to time, right? Because your growth is directly proportional to the pace you are evolving or you want to evolve. Because once you have over a period of time worked hard on yourself, have been following your space over a period of time, you tend to create that kind of aura in the like clients. For example, you have been associated with a couple of promoters in edtech space, for example. So we have great companies like this also in edtech. They were previously also great companies. It also acts as a magnet for other edtech platforms to come to you. Okay, he's the lawyer, he has been with this, right? With this entrepreneur from time and again. So why not talk to him? Okay, let's hire him for our fundraise. He is the right lawyer, it seems. He knows the industry. So this also helps you create that industry expertise, actually. So we have a lot of lawyers who have expertise in pharma related matters also. So they work with bigger pharma companies. So more you hone your knowledge, the more focus you have, more avenues you will find within your own practice areas. So 20 years back, if something was M&A, only M&A, pharma company deal was M&A, edtech company was deal M&A, fintech company was deal M&A, etc., etc. Now, few years down the line, it became private equity, low ticket private equity, high ticket private equity. Now, then it became an angel round, for example, seed round, for example, series A, B, C, D, E, F, Zepto raise, series H. I saw in the newspaper day before yesterday. So you see, So, permutation combinations have been changing within the same larger set of M&A. And it has created a lot of opportunities that way. Multiple thousands of deals have been happening over the past some years. So that way they have been lawyers. If they had the right perspective, they have evolved. They have found more avenues for themselves to utilize their talent, showcase their potential. Actually, so that's
But sir, what if someone is starting from tabula rasa, clean slate? For example, let's say someone like me or somebody who is having a constitutional law background, and now they feel like I want to shift towards this. In that context, what are the 3 advices you will give to them? Halanki, I do know that it is like not easy because it is a different area of work. But what if somebody decides to do that, or somebody is like slightly interested in understanding it or thinking that can I also enter? Is it also a place for me? What advices would
very
you?
much possible, because as we spoke before, there is a lot of fungibility as far as legal courses are concerned. So I don't know the exact provision of Nyaya Sanhita now, which is the criminal laws. If you see early IPCs, the difference between section 299 and 300 was a subject in itself.
Yeah.
Thousands of court judgments, etc. Nobody purely understood it. If somebody who can understand, to my mind, difference between 299 and 300, he can also understand Constitution, he can also understand Companies Act.
Okay.
Because your approach to do certain interpretation, okay, is the thing.
It's a knowledge area is different entirely. Even if you understand how to interpret things or how to have a perspective about things, but the knowledge is still different. You will need to like sit for hours and understand what this law is.
That knowledge will be, look, knowledge is definitely different because the scope and the coverage is totally different. But it will be not a very difficult acquisition of knowledge. The process is not that difficult. You see, a lot of difficulties we have in our mind. I see today's law students also, lawyers also. Look, I am a fintech lawyer. I am not a tech lawyer. I am this lawyer. I am not that lawyer. As long as you are an M&A lawyer, you should be able to handle everything, to be honest, that way. Okay. If you have that perspective, a lot of lawyers like us, there are many seniors also who are actually doing this, to be honest, that way. You see, so idea is, once, if you want to switch, okay, let's come to the question precisely. From one practice area to another practice area, you have to know about your proposed practice area.
Okay.
Okay. So, for example, if I am, let's say, 5th year law student or 2nd year associate, I want to get into corporate law. What I do? I pick up any financial newspaper every day just for 10 minutes, for 3 months.
Okay.
I only read M&A news. This company got acquired by this company merged into that company.
Is there any recommendation that what kind of newspaper?
Any newspaper, any commercial newspaper. You have to create your industry awareness. Because you see, your like and your dislike is not for any legal subject. Your like and dislike, if at all, it is for an industry.
True.
For example, I did not like physics. Right? I did not like engineering, to be honest. Okay. So that, like or dislike maybe for an industry as such. It is not necessarily for a subject. For example, mathematics. Mathematics is not directly related to engineering. You require mathematics for UPSC also, cracking those preliminary exams also. You require mathematics in common admission test, MBAs also, BBAs also, right? It's a common subject. So there is no hate or dislike for mathematics as such, per se, actually, to be honest. So our hate or dislike is to an industry. This is what I have seen. So if you want to get into corporate law, if you have industry in mind, try to create more market awareness for it. Market awareness is basically giving you the context. Law cannot be practiced or learned in silos. You just cannot be a lawyer without a problem. You have to have a problem. For a problem, you have to have a factual background.
True.
Then you analyze the factual background. Then you use your application of law to solve it. So suppose there is no factual background, there is no problem. Are you a lawyer? You are not a lawyer.
Okay. So one thing would be to be aware, and for that you can start with a financial newspaper.
10 minutes a day for 3 months. If anybody does it, he will have immense benefit. We have tried with our interns. So any interns who have come to me, their first task is, I come to office around 10:30, 11. Interns come a bit earlier than that. Their first task is, all the interns read the newspaper. One intern reads Economic Times, which is available in our office. One reads Financial Express, which is there. They mark with the pencil all the corporate law related news, or maybe some of them make small notes also. When I come to office, first 15 minutes I spend with them. I ask them, okay, what are the corporate law related news? They say there is an acquisition. Somebody says there is a merger or this company, that company. Then I tell them, why don't you generally see what is an acquisition process in India? You have the context. Newspaper clip is the context.
Now you can research more.
Then you can research more. When you do things with context in mind, you do with more focus than doing it without a context. Okay.
And second would be to build your expertise through courses, like you only mentioned. Like there are people who are partners who are conducting seminars, webinars, all of these things. So you can try to do that as well, and then maybe you can think about.
In fact, if you cannot do it, just go to the YouTube. Okay. YouTube, just select any topic of your choice. Okay. Just put that in the search thing. You will have all the foreign law firm partners to Indian law firm partners actually speaking on that subject. And you will find the video recordings of important seminars also on YouTube.
True.
You can watch that. Actually.
Yeah, so everything is accessible in certain ways.
Yeah, so but it depends on you. How do you actually utilize it? So in today's time, it is not, lack of opportunities. It is not lack of platform. It is lack of right players to use that platform. Earlier, 40 years back, there was no platform, there was no opportunities. But people were right. People were more hardworking. People are hardworking today also. But earlier, we did not have this AI, the YouTubes and all these platforms. You see, people had to do more bare text reading as opposed to what they do today. There were not many books also available. Okay.
True.
So their struggle was different. Today's struggle is different when there are more opportunities, more platform. But right, mental setup to use that resource, or right players are not there. Because just thinking about joining, let's say, for example, again, a tier 1 law firm or tier 2 law firm or an organization of your choice, thinking about it, blaming yourself that I am not from the right law school is not going to help. What is going to help is that you start working on yourself.
Creating
because
evidence.
When you get into the profession also, maybe you have got into law firm of your choice, for example, also. Okay. Even if you are from the topmost law school, you will come across a lot of challenges. You will not know how to do your work. You will have to manage it, right?
True.
If you have to manage it something at your workplace, why don't you manage it when you are in 4th year of your law school? Why don't you do that practice, right?
I agree, yeah.
Otherwise, it's not a panacea getting into organization of your choice. You have to stay there, survive there, work very hard. You will have a lot of competition within your team, between other teams also, right? 100%. There are a lot of expectations also that way. When you are in law school, you don't have that much of expectations, right? So
True.
just, having this thing of I'm not at the right place or at the right time, actually, this is not helpful. That is something one should actually deal with.
Okay. So the corporate legal environment is becoming very competitive, as you also pointed out. What differentiates a truly excellent transactional lawyer from an average one, maybe?
Yeah, but so, again, everybody is good. But, if I have to see who are better or who are the best, etc.
How can you stand out, in short?
Yeah, exactly. When you understand your deal better and when you understand your role better, okay, that is when you operate very differently. So, for example, if I am an associate doing a due diligence, okay, I'm just doing a due diligence, I do not understand what transaction is. What I'm doing, I'm just collating a lot of rough data, discussing it with my senior associates and making issues out of it. Okay, I do not know much about the deal. I don't have the context. Opposed to it, if I am a junior doing a due diligence, I know this is a share acquisition transaction, 100%. That means a change in control transaction. I'm reviewing some agreements of the company. So I know the transaction. So while I'm reviewing the agreements of the company, I'll see, are there any change in control clauses in those agreements? Will those agreements get expired, etc.? I have given myself a context because I am an aware associate. Okay. Now I have made my chapter. Okay. I prepared the material agreements chapter with the perspective in mind, discussed with my senior, gave it to senior. Seniors are doing the actual negotiation transaction document. I should also be aware at that point in time. I should ask my senior, okay, in my chapter, there were 4 or 5 recommendations. Can you tell me what happened to those recommendations or not?
True.
90% of what people do, people make due diligence report, they forget about it because they have other work also to do it. Okay, not to blame them, generally saying they have other work also to do it. Okay.
A lot of time they are also
But
interested
there are
in doing.
10% of associates who are aware, who actually, want to know ki if some point was dropped from my chapter finding, what was the reason to drop it?
Okay.
Why it was diluted?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It creates more awareness in their entire system. Okay. Because they are not only thinking of a work as an end, they are thinking of their work as a process. Right. So again, this is something which has helped certain associates have seen. They have become great partners also in times to come.
So I was thinking about like how a lot of people focus on what is delegated to them and be restricted to just that. So what you are suggesting is to go beyond that, not beyond that, but to kind of be excellent in that.
Understand what happened to the work that you have done.
Okay.
What further processes
Have some kind
have
of
been done.
accountability in certain ways.
You see, so what I call, I think it's a good point that you have raised. So typically, what we call in our parlance, general parlance also, is to have ownership of your work. Is to stand by the work that you have done.
Yes.
Okay. If you have developed ownership of the work, when we spoke about the organizations having right culture, right ethos and mix, ownership of the work is at the center of it, actually, at all levels.
True.
It also comes on a senior partner to the partner. Everybody has to have that ownership of the work, whatever that they're doing. That is at the middle of it.
Sir, when working on a typical M&A deal, what are some problems that you face sometimes? What are certain things that you have to deal with on a day-to-day basis?
So what happens when you're working on an M&A deal? Okay, a lot of things we understand over a period of time. We have done a lot of transactions, etc. We are aware of market practices, how deals go, etc. But a lot of times, what happens, there is also negotiation stalemate over a period of time. Lawyers not thinking in terms of middle grounds. So if one lawyer is saying X, other lawyer is saying Y, they have been repeating it in different forms and different arguments time and again. The problem is not getting solved. Okay, that is the time both the party lawyers should also think in terms of finding a middle ground, so that they have been hired for facilitating the deal. That deal should be through, actually, unless there are material critical legal breach point. That is, I'm keeping those separate. But lawyers thinking more and more in terms of finding middle ground right from the start itself is something which is become very important over a period of time that way. So at times we also find, it's again something which is very practical. Look, every legal advisor wants to protect the interest of their client, to be honest. This is how it works out.
True.
So initially in a negotiation on a lot of points, you will have, the parties will be at loggerheads to start with. Okay. But after initial negotiations, maybe 2 rounds or 3 rounds of negotiation, both the parties should come together along with their legal advisors and try to find a middle ground. Because everybody is the beneficiary of the deal. Okay. Purchaser is not, for example, in an acquisition transaction, it is not only the purchaser who is the beneficiary, seller is also the beneficiary, right? The other small holders who are selling their shares, they are also beneficiary, right? All of them are very relevant stakeholder in the entire process. So somebody who understands the transaction well, reads the room well, thinks of a middle ground.
So what are the
is
common
better.
mistakes that you have noticed or observed? That these are the common mistakes that people do.
Just relying on precedent. So, that is one common thing. For example, every transaction is a bespoke and a different transaction because parties are different. The way you see certain things is not the way I see those certain things. Okay.
True.
For you, XYZ is important. For me, ABC is more important while we are doing the same deal. Because there are two different people on the deal. So what happens at times, there is an over reliance on a precedent of a previous or a learning of a previous deal. Learning of a previous deal or a precedent of any other deal can start as a starting point, but is not the end point, actually. You need to customize your solutions so that it suits the parties on the table as such. Otherwise, deal will not happen. So over reliance at times on some previous deal learnings or some precedent I see, that is the practice which can be minimized over the
That comes back to the point that you highlighted earlier also, that you need to have open-mindedness and allow all perspectives and not having a dogmatic approach to things.
Yeah, exactly. Because as simple as this, if I am on the table, I should act as a deal maker.
True.
That's why I'm on the table. Otherwise, why would anybody need you on the table? Unless you're creating that USP or the value add services, your role actually is really not justified that way.
Sir, you also have worked with a lot of junior associates by now. A few of them you probably appreciated, and a few of them you did not like to work with. So, what were the traits of the ones you did not like working with? And what were the kind of junior associates you knew from the start that they are going to shine later in their career stage, maybe?
So again, it depends on the perspective. You see, all of us inherently, we can be good at everything, but inherently we are good at certain things. And it differs from person to person actually. Somebody who has very good linguistic abilities, drafting abilities, somebody who's very good in research, for example, somebody who is good at negotiation, for example. So, it is for the person who is at the top of the team, of top of the organizations, to actually see what are the core abilities of each individuals in the team. That is more important, because you cannot compare somebody who has great research skills to somebody who has great negotiation skills. You just cannot. Even in our schools, your schools as well, our other education institutions, we had certain students who can speak on any topic at any point in time, do that extempore. But certain students required that basic background preparation, and then they did very well. You actually cannot compare it. Okay. So our idea and my idea has been just to identify those core skills. Okay. All of us have 1-2 good core skills with us. Either we are a good listener, we are a good drafter.
So in a way, you're saying that you're not focusing on like hyper fixated on these are the traits I want. You let people.
It has to be like that.
Grow and shine and understand.
It has to be it has to be like that, because once I know in particular core skills somebody is very good in something, I give him more and more work so that he can develop it more and more. Okay. At the same time, I also give him other work he may not be very good to start with. There's one thing you are not good to start with, but eventually you can become good.
True.
Right? With right exposure, right motivation, you can actually become good.
So balance of both.
It's a balance of both. So if a team member is actually not doing well, it's I will see that as a failure on me. That why is he not doing well? Actually.
What if somebody is like just not that hardworking, or?
It's again not a question of hardworking. Some people can do a 1 hour job in 20 minutes also. I've seen some associates, but certain associates.
But you still need to have the zeal to work, no?
Yeah, that is there. Look, at times what happens when an associate joins an organization also, no? After 1 year, maybe they realize that they don't want to do law anymore. Because law is a different profession. It can get very tiring also, right? Frustrating also at times, to be honest. Okay. If somebody is not cut out for that, that's his choice that way. Okay. But I never judge a person just because some person is not good on certain aspects. He or she is good on other aspects. And that is how you complete the team. Look, you cannot have 10 Tendulkars to make a great team. You need to have one spinner. Somebody is good in spin, who is not a good fast bowler. You need a good fast bowler who is not a good spinner. You need a good batsman, all-rounder, etc. That's how you create a team. So you cannot have somebody having the same strong core skills. You cannot have 4 or 5 members. If you require 10 skills, you will have somebody good in 3 skills, somebody good in 2 skills, somebody good in 1 skill. That is how you complete the team. That is how you complete the team actually, right? True. So when you're sitting at the top, you are the team leader, for example, it is onus on you to actually identify which are the core skills of your particular team members. True. And just back them. They will actually start excelling in that. There will be very healthy competition. And that's how you actually create a team. You create a team on basis of the requirements of the team.
So sir, last question to you will be divided in 2 parts. What is your advice to A, young lawyers, and B, students who are in law school right now, who want to become a transactional lawyer, who want to have the same area of work that you have?
Okay. So the answer would be a bit different. Okay. For young lawyers, my suggestion would be to know your work more and more, okay, and to know how your work has been processed, how your inputs have been processed by your seniors or during a transaction. Know that more, because this will create a lot of familiarity. You will have more skin in the game. You will never be detached from the deal. Okay, that will also, it will create deal awareness. sense of ownership of your work. That's my suggestion for young lawyers. For young law students, especially those who are in third year and fourth year, again, ownership of work goes without saying, but take charge of your life. Okay, if you feel that, and if you want to make a difference, okay, start as early as possible. Increase knowledge, awareness to start with, like we discussed, Economic Times, Financial Express, etc. Whatever you can do, okay, do that. And try to build on your knowledge. Use whatever platforms that are available with you, be it videos on the YouTube, writing blogs, writing articles, doing moot courts. Do whatever channel which is available to you, accessible to you, whatever you can. Okay. And once you have identified your interest areas to start with, let's say at the end of third year or start of fourth year, I want to do corporate laws. Try to do more and more activities in relation to corporate laws, write more and more articles, more blogs, so that when you are preparing your resume by the end of your fifth year, somebody who sees your resume knows that, okay, this guy, I can see the kind of articles that he has written on. He's writing on Gift City, he's writing on ESG, he's writing on data privacy. Seems to be an aware guy. I want to speak with him. You can actually create that value. Okay. Because what happens, building this kind of stuff is not a matter of one month or 2 months. It will require 1.5 years. But if you're keen to do it, nothing like it. Nothing like it. So work on yourself. Definitely work on your mental perspective. Never think in terms of what college you are in or what city you are in. This is a material. We have innumerable examples in legal professions where people have come from remote villages, have been top lawyers or are top lawyers of India. How do they did that? They also did it, right?
True.
So if they can do so with not much resources in their time, at least you have more resources than them. You can also do.
Yes, that is some insightful advice, and not just for, I think, lawyers, it is for everyone, because I think it all boils down to how you need to be capable, curious, open-minded, and have zeal to work.
Right.
If that is there, then you will shine at some point of time. Sir, it was a, I think, lovely interview, and at least I got to learn a lot, and I'm pretty sure our students also got to learn many things from you. And what are your last final words for anybody who is watching it?
Okay, just to sum it up, my final word is for everyone, including myself, is to take charge of yourself.
That's the motto.
That's the mantra. Even I give it to myself. Take charge of whatever work that I am doing. Take charge of my team. Right. It works very differently. You never feel subjugated. You feel independent. Your outputs will be very independent and very good. So, take charge of yourself.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. I think you had a great learning with sir. If there are any kind of doubts, you can leave in the comment box and we will try to respond to each one of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Apurva, for having me here.